Hey neighbors, Pastor Bill here from United Church of Friendship. This last Sunday, we read the first part of Psalm 38, and this is a psalm of David. David was really going through a valley. He was experiencing the consequence from his sin, and he was praying to God in the midst of that suffering. He writes that there is no health in my flesh because of your indignation. There was no soundness in my bones because of my sin. He was recognizing that there was both his action in sin that caused this consequence or this result, and also God's indignation over it. It wasn't in the sense that God abandoned him, threw him away, disowned him. He is faithful and true to his promise to call you child. And we know how David's life ended. Even if in that valley, he may have thought that his life was over. There's two things I want to point out from that verse, from that psalm. One is, yes, there is a hand of discipline that comes from the Father. When we sin against God and against others, there are results that will happen. Some of those results will be God removing his favor and his blessing from our lives to drive us back to his arms, in the sense that we are reminded that every breath is a gift and that our very life is in his hands. There is also a very real result that happens to ourselves, in our own health and bodies, and to the relationships around us when we transgress. But I also want to point out that not every health struggle is a result of God's discipline or a result of you sinning. We kind of tend to jump really, really far at one side or the other of that. And some of us want to think that every time we're sick, I must have done something wrong. That was what Job's friends told him when he was going through the valley, that you must have done something to make God mad, or you wouldn't be experiencing these hardships. And there's also the idea that because we are saved by grace alone, through faith alone, in Christ alone, that there is no consequence for our sin, and we can just go on sinning that grace might abound. And Paul tells us, by no means is that true. So there are two sides to this coin in this discussion. But what I want to take away from this today is that God disciplined David out of love to humble him, to show him that his actions had real life consequences, not just on the lives of others, but on the life of himself. And to remember that God is faithful to his promise to not forsake you or abandon you. You can return back to his arms and ask forgiveness once again. And I would encourage you to do so if you found yourself far from God, entrapped in a valley of sin or bad decisions. You don't have to stay there. Come home. The door is open. God bless.